What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for jumping into another video. My name is Josh and I am just your average Joe day trader. Hey guys, I am excited, super pumped to share with you something that I've already covered in another video, but I wanted to share with you some new information that I recently got through my research, through doing analysis, and just having an overall better understanding of companies that I look at as longer term plays for my longer term retirement portfolio, but also ones that I am day trading and making money on that way. But I'm not going to talk to you about this stock, this particular two stocks today, from the day trading standpoint, which I know is very different than what I'm all about. I love to be a retail day trader. I love to make money every day in certain stocks like APLD, SoundHound, Serve Robotics, Ford, okay? But today I want to share with you something that I really want to make sure you have on your radar, that you're doing your own due diligence on, that you potentially are looking at for your long-term hold and a long-term play, because I actually had recently taken a position in both of these companies, but now I'm super more excited about one over the other, and I want to explain to you why. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about JOBY, J-O-B-Y, JOBY. Okay, listen, I've covered JOBY before. JOBY builds and they're testing electric basically commercial vehicles, right? Helicopters, hovercraft, etc. And they are already right now in the defense sectors, and they build all kinds of hovercraft and electric helicopters and things like that for the industrial side of the house, drone technology, thing like that. But JOBY, along with Archer, which is the other company that I want to mention, both have put in for, and hopefully we assume by the end of this year, they're going to have their commercial space certifications and approvals in order to fly in the commercial space, which means that in essence, an electric helicopter that JOBY or Archer have put out, you literally could call for your quote unquote JOBY Uber, right? And could fly as a civilian passenger in one of these aircraft once they pass all the testing and everything they need. And so this is pretty incredible, because could you imagine being on the side of the road and you're like, I know the traffic's going to be bad where I live in South Florida, in Miami today. I know if I call an Uber, it's probably going to take me 45 minutes to get somewhere that could potentially take me 30. Why don't I just call one of these companies that has electric hovercraft or electric helicopter and get to work that way in 15 minutes, okay? I think it's going to change a lot of the way we look at travel and the future. And I mentioned in one of my videos in the last couple of days about the Jetsons. If you never saw the cartoon, the Jetsons, they flew everywhere, right? You could even be a Star Wars fan and see Star Wars, where everybody's flying around in these, flying hovercraft and old spaceships, right? So the world and how that looks is not that far away, and is kind of scary almost, right? But anyway, let's not get too carried away into the fear of the unknown. It is happening. It is coming, guys. It is a reality, which is totally mind-blowing. But let me share with you why JOBY, J-O-B-Y, is such an incredible company, as far as my opinion, as far as it goes for me. So unlike Archer relies on another company to create and produce the pieces, the technology they need to build their equipment, to build their aircraft, to build their drones, to build these hovercraft and helicopters, okay? JOBY does not. JOBY has already mastered all the smaller pieces, the smaller technology. They only depend on themselves for parts and for the technology needed to build their craft. They've done all the testing and built all their parts on all the small stuff. They're finalizing and working on all the bigger pieces, right? And so that is a huge positive for them, because they don't rely on anybody. In other words, they could say, hey, this month, let's build 5 new helicopters and let's go out and test them. And they're not waiting on anybody to approve it, or waiting for parts to come in, or waiting for someone to to update technology. They are doing all of that. Now, one could say that production, manufacturing could potentially slow them down as a company and cause some delays. Well, yeah, in the long term, yes, potentially. It could slow them down some, but they've already done all the testing. They've already created all the smaller parts, smaller pieces, and because of that, they're ready to go. And here's the one thing that got me super amped up about Joby this morning. As I'm doing my own research, I realized that recently they made a decision. Now, they also are working with AMPX, okay, Amprius, for these new the lithium battery technology. And they have batteries that last days on end without needing a charge. And that is a game changer for the EV market, for electric vehicles, whether they're on the road with 4 wheels, 2 wheels, or they fly. Okay, and I can't even believe we're talking about electric vehicles that fly, guys. This is ridiculous, but it's here, okay? Hear me out. What Joby did was they realized, hey, if we remove some of these lithium batteries from our helicopter, okay, from our hovercraft, and we replace it with hydrogen fuel cells, let's see what that does. And so they tested one of their products with hydrogen fuel cells, and they were actually able to go a distance of up to 700 miles. And then when they landed, instead of waiting to charge for hours, they fill back up their hydrogen fuel cells and they're good to go again. Guys, that is ridiculous and a game changer. And one thing, if you did not know, Tesla, and I'm not going to say anything negative about Tesla. I am a long-term stock investor in Tesla. I have a huge portfolio stake in Tesla. Was super upset when it went on the last earnings a couple days ago from, 300, I think it was at $320 something. It launched to $338. Then it went back to $324 around there, and it stayed steady. And I was like, good, I don't need to sell out of this and get back into it when it drops. And then literally when the market closed and overnight it dumped, it went all the way to basically almost under $300 per share. But anyway, this is not a Tesla video. Back to Joby, okay? Tesla has been talking about testing hydrogen fuel cells for the longest time. Why hasn't Tesla done it yet? I know why Tesla hasn't done it yet, because Elon Musk's been too busy running around with chainsaws on the stage and helping Doge and cutting all that. And I'm not saying that's bad. That's great. Cut the expenses so I don't have to pay for it in my taxes, okay? But Joby now has a leg up, potentially even on a company like Tesla, who's going to put forward hydrogen-based fuel cells in their product, okay? So amazing, amazing company. And if you did not know, to add to the cherry on top of Joby, they've got the backing of the U.S. government, because there's some federal funding through the president, through President Trump. He just signed an executive order where they're now backing, okay? So there's federal backing for companies like Joby and Archer, okay? And so that's huge in itself right there. Number 2, Toyota Corporation is financially also backing Joby, okay? They are providing support through technology, through financial aid, and they're guiding and assisting them, advising them on how to continue to move forward. Look at Toyota, okay? So now, Archer is not as good as a company. Archer is also an incredible company, but Archer depends on others in order to build their product in their technology. Joby does not. Joby does not, guys. Game changer. So please take a look at Joby, all right? Take a hard look at it. Chart it. Support and resistance levels. Look at it in the long term and do your own homework. Do your own research. Don't take anything I say as the gospel, guys. You've got to do your own homework no matter what. And listen, please, no matter who you watch on YouTube or who you listen to in podcasts, I'm going to tell you straight up, don't trust any of it. Don't trust what I'm telling you. Go do your own homework. It's super important to be educated in your decisions. This is your financial wealth and your financial future. And if you want to get wealthy, You have to be a smart investor and understand everything before you jump blindly into any trades in any stock. All right, guys, that is my soapbox. Wanted to share that with you this morning. The market's going to be opening up in over an hour, and I'm excited to see what the market's going to do for us. Wait for the drop. Wait for that support level to be hit on any stock you're looking at, and understand your candlestick patterns before you jump blindly into something that potentially still has room to go down. All right, guys, have a great trading day, and we'll get a weekend update to you. Have a good Friday. Josh out. Peace.